The train rattled along the tracks, carrying with it a woman who felt both hope and fear pressing against her chest. She was a mail-order bride, a woman who had left everything she knew behind to answer an advertisement from a widowed rancher in the West. Her hands trembled as she clutched the small suitcase in her lap, the only belongings she had left in the world. She had convinced herself that no one really wanted her, that she was simply answering a request out of desperation, his and hers alike. When she stepped off the train, the station seemed unusually quiet. A few men leaned against posts, tipping their hats, while families greeted loved ones with open arms, but no one seemed to be waiting for her. She scanned the crowd, heart sinking as the minutes stretched into what felt like hours. Doubt filled her mind. Perhaps he had changed his mind. Perhaps he didn't want her after all. She felt the sting of rejection pressing hard against her ribs. She turned away, ready to retreat and find anywhere to hide her disappointment, when she felt the gentle tug of a small hand at her skirt. Looking down, she saw a little girl no older than 6, with wide brown eyes brimming with both sadness and curiosity. The child looked up at her and whispered in the softest, most hopeful voice, "Can you be my mommy?" The woman froze, her throat tightening. In that instant, the station, the waiting, the uncertainty, all of it disappeared. The only thing she could see was this child, fragile and yet brave enough to ask the question that carried all the weight of her little heart. Tears threatened to spill from the woman's eyes, and she knelt down, gently brushing a strand of hair away from the girl's face. "Where is your father?" she asked softly. The girl pointed toward a tall man standing at a distance. He wasn't rushing forward like the others, but watching carefully, almost nervously, as though he feared the woman would turn away. His hat shadowed his eyes, but she could see the grief etched into the lines of his face. He looked worn, as though life had taken too much from him too soon. The woman understood in that moment. He hadn't approached her because he wasn't sure if she would stay. He had lost before, and loss leaves its mark. His daughter's boldness had done what he could not: bridge the distance between strangers who were about to become something more. She rose slowly, her eyes never leaving the man's, and for a long moment they simply stood there, the silence filled with words unspoken. Then, with a breath that seemed to shake his entire frame, he walked toward them. He tipped his hat, his voice low and steady. "Ma'am, I'm sorry I didn't greet you sooner. I didn't know if this was really what you wanted." The woman's heart softened. She could see the loneliness in his eyes, but also the glimmer of hope, fragile as glass. She